I'm not good at technology and I'm not good as a cameraman. Where am I? I'm in my kitchen, as you know. Give me 1 second. It is live. You know, somebody wrote on Twitter, I think it was yesterday, I'm just checking, are we going live? Or because I've had no notification of it whatsoever, and it looks like we're not live. So, oh well. Let's see. It should come up. It should pull up. Rosemary is live. But it isn't really. But anyway, I don't care. We'll do it anyway. Let's do it anyway. Why don't we do it anyway? So the first thing I have to do is to say, I wish you a Merry Christmas. I know. In October. What are we talking about? But I do have to sing. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Yes, it's Christmas cake time. I thought, hey, why not, even though I make a muck of it, why not have you in my kitchen? It's a bit untidy because I've got stuff all over the place, which I'll show you in a minute. But I'm standing at my trusty machine, my Kenwood machine, which I've had forever and ever and ever. Oh, good, I am live. I can see people. I can't see what you're saying to me. I hope you're saying nice things to me, but if not, oh well. Too bad anyway. So this is what I've done because Christmas is coming and I have to make this cake. So I'm going to show you first of all, what on earth is this? You'd say, yes, it's a cake tin. I'm going to see if I can tip it a little bit. The bottom is lined and I've got double lining on the bottom and a double lining of parchment paper all the way around. And what I do with the bottom of the parchment paper, I was going to do it, I was going to show you, but hey, it takes too long. But what you do is you sort of cut, as if you're making like a fan, and you cut slits all the way along the bottom so that when you put it in the pan, the slits fall nicely. You put the bottom layers of the parchment paper on the top, and it sort of sits nicely. There's no leaking, there's no leakage. Absolutely amazing. Now, I'm going to move the camera a little bit. I don't know how this is going to work, but anyway, I'm having fun. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree. I'm teaching my grandson to play. Are you ready? I'm moving the camera down. I don't know how much you'll see, but I'm hoping you'll see enough. So in this bowl, there's like, it actually looks like chocolate, but it isn't chocolate. I don't know if you, how well can you see that? Yeah, there you go. All right. That is butter and brown sugar, which has been beautifully creamed, nice and thick and beaten up. Now I'm going to add, got my flour here, and in the flour I've got a little bit of gravy powder. Why on earth would I put gravy powder in Christmas cake? Well, it makes it nice and dark, doesn't it? So I've got some gravy powder and I've got some baking powder and a little bit of salt, and I know there's a couple of other things in there, but I can't think right now. But I'm going to alternately add a spoon of flour and a little bit of egg, like that. If you add flour to your butter and your sugar when you've creamed it, just add a little bit of flour. It stops the stops all the stuff from sort of making that curdling, horrible stuff. Noise, get ready for it because I'm beating. And then I'm going to do the whole thing over again. And I'm going to do it until all the flour and the egg mix is incorporated in this nice creamy butter, sugar and molasses. Did I forget to tell you there's molasses in there? So let's do it slowly at first. We don't want the flour to go all over the place. Oh yes. So I think a couple more times with that. But here's the thing about Christmas cake. Of course, this is an old recipe. It's a Victorian recipe for Christmas cake. And the thing about this recipe is that as you're mixing it, and when you start to put the fruit in, now some people put in nuts. I'm unfortunately allergic, not really allergic to nuts, but I can't have them because they contain oxalates. Let's do that. I promise you, this is the last one. And then I'm going to show you what I'm putting in here. So people put in mixed peel, which I actually don't like. People put in, what else do they put in? They put in sort of chopped nuts and things, which I actually do love but can't have. And put the rest of this flour in here. Let's just tip it in. I love this machine. It's a Kenwood, and I do believe it's a British thing. I had one when I was sort of 20, I think. My husband actually bought one for me, and I've never ever changed. I've had Kenwood forever. Get ready. Noise, noise, noise. Sort of, at the moment, it's like a dropping consistency. Right, let me get myself back on camera. Are you enjoying this so far? Are you enjoying this restream so far? Now, here is the thing. Okay, in this dish here, I'm going to show you, we've got raisins, sultanas, golden raisins, and they're going to go into this mix. It actually looks to be an awful lot of fruit for a little bit of mix, don't you think? But also, my very, very favourite are the cherries. I'll show you the cherries in a minute. I'm just going to scrape this off because I'm going to take the bowl out, because everything else now is by hand. We've given the cake a nice beaten the eggs a little bit before we put them in. I like to get every little bit and piece. I'm terrible at this. I'm sort of like to get every little. I don't know if you can see me or if you can't see me. And if you're writing to me to say we can't hear you, Rosemary. I can't read what you're writing. So it's like, a bit like the blind leading the blind here, isn't it? Let me make sure that I've just got this. My daughter's going to kill me. She'll say to me, Mother. Oh, wait a minute. She'll go and say to me, Mother, why did you do this like this? Couldn't you have gotten someone to help you? But you know, I'm that kind of a person. When something grabs me and I just want to get on and do it, that's what I do. So I'm taking this. Let's see if I can show you this. It looks, again, doesn't that look like a chocolate cake? There's nothing chocolate in there. There's absolutely nothing chocolate in there. And if you wanted to do this cake and you didn't want to put butter in it, if you wanted like a non-dairy or something, there's lots of different products out there, substitutes for butter that you can use that are non-dairy. Now then, here are my cherries. This is one of my favourite parts. See, all my cherries are going in there, lots and lots of cherries. But what I like to do is I coat my cherries in flour and then give them a really, really good shake to get them the majority of the flour off. But if you, what I did with these, they're glacé cherries. What I did with them, first of all, I washed them, dried them, let them drain out, and then coated them with flour. And what happens when you coat them with flour is it stops the cherries. I'm going to tip them in. Are you ready to? Oh, golly. Let me see if I can show you this process. It's great. I love it. I've got to eat one of those, at least one of those cherries before I stir them in. But what happens with cherries, if you flour them, it stops them sinking to the bottom. If you don't flour them first, lightly flour them. So you put them in flour, coat them all over, and then give them a really good shaking with a sieve. I had a wooden spoon here. Yes, there we are. A wooden spoon. So, and it just stops them sinking in. So very slowly and carefully we are going to stir in the cherries. Oh, I forgot to eat one, didn't I? Oh, well, never mind. I'll haul them out of the cake. I don't know if you noticed, but in the recipe, if you want the recipe, just let me know. You can email me, rosemary@rosemaryaLtea.com, and I'll send you the recipe for this delicious thing. But it says in the recipe cut in half. Well, I actually prefer my cherries to be hole, because there's nothing better in a delicious, rich Christmas cake than to discover the cherries. Now, I'm going to just put all of this fruit in here. So there's about, I don't know, there's a pound of cherries, and then there's probably 1.5 pounds of fruit, dried fruit. Now, I don't know if you noticed, you probably didn't, you probably can't see it on the camera. Can you see all that there? Okay, I'm going to ask you to do something for me in a minute when you're watching, okay? You'll see. See that? All that? I'm going to mix that all in. But what I did with the fruit is I poured brandy all over it and a little teeny bit of hot water to cover the top. And I left it for 2 days. All the fruit plumps up with the flavour of the brandy. Any alcohol will be burned off, so this is safe to give to your kids. Well, we'll see. I'll tell you what we're going to do later. So far, it's safe to give to kids because all the alcohol will be burned off in the cooking of this thing. But now here is the secret, and this is a British Christmas cake, but you're all welcome, wherever you're from and wherever you're watching. Would you like to help me? Because this is Christmas. And Christmas is a time of magic, isn't it? And Christmas is a time of joy. And as we're stirring the Christmas cake, the same as when we're making the Christmas pudding, as we're stirring the Christmas cake, well, we have to make a wish. So I've got my daddy who is standing here with me to my left side here, and I've got, of course, Grey Eagle standing to my right side here. I'm hoping that they're going to make a wish. Who knows? I'm certainly going to make a wish. We're not really supposed to tell our wishes, but if I could give you a heads up, my wish is for my daughter and for my grandson. They're not here, unfortunately. But hey, as I'm stirring this cake, why don't you make a wish? You don't have to tell me what it is. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Stirring and wishing at the same time. Oh gosh. And you need to make sure, it's tough. This job is a tough job. You need to make sure, oh golly, get it all mixed in really, really well. You want the cherries mixed in and you want the fruit. Oh golly, this looks so delicious. It looks so good. It really does look good. Ooh. Let me see if I can show you that. How are we doing there? Can you look at that? There's the camera. Oh, yes, yes, yes. It smells delicious. There's some allspice in there, and there's some, as I've said, I couldn't remember what I put in the flour, but there's allspice and all sorts. Now, I want it to be a dropping consistency, which it sort of is. I'm going to show you a dollop, and you can watch it as it falls off the spoon. See that? But just because, why not? I do have a little milk. You use any kind of milk you like. I just want it to be a little tiny bit more sloppy. This is going to be extremely moist anyway, so I'm not putting the milk in to make the cake moist, because the fruit and all of the other stuff that's going in, I'll tell you what we'll do in a little bit. So I'm going to just add a little bit of milk there, just to sort of make it just so I can really make sure that all of the stuff is well mixed in together. Oh yes, my daddy's remembering days gone by. In the olden days, my grandson calls it, in the olden days, Mosey, when you were little, and my mother used to make fruit cake. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Her fruit cake, she was so proud of her fruit cake. She loved her fruit cake, and everybody told her fruit cake was delicious, but it actually wasn't. It was really dry and awful. So my daddy's laughing as I'm saying that, and I don't say that. I'm not truthfully not saying that to be mean. It just was simply not a good cake. Now in America, they have fruit cake, And that too, it's only my opinion, that too is so dry and bleh. And when I say to people in America, would you like to have some fruitcake? They immediately relate fruitcake to what you buy here in this country. And the amount of people say, no, 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 no. So here's what we're going to do now. Here is my tin. You can see that I put the baking, the paper here. I put it way above. I've gone a little bit overboard. It doesn't need to be that high, but you know. So I'm just going to drop it in. Let me see if I can just adjust the camera a bit so you can see what I'm doing there. Can you see that? Yes, I'm going to just drop it in. It's so good, really, really good. I'm going to put about half of it in, and then I'm going to smooth it over the bottom so that, you know, because we want an even bake, don't we? And lovely, lovely, lovely. And we also want the paper to stay still. The good thing about parchment paper is that nothing sticks. So there we go. So I'm going to, now you're probably saying to yourselves, as lots of people have said to me, why are you making this Christmas cake so early? Well, two reasons, really. A Christmas cake needs to be made. Let me put the camera back up so I can talk to you guys. There you are. There, now you can see a Christmas cake needs to be made at least 6 to 8 weeks before Christmas. Why, you ask? Well, because we feed the Christmas cake. We have a little feeding frenzy with the Christmas cake. Every week we feed it, and I'm going to describe that in a little bit too. I'm going to tell you what more I can do. But you know, you want, see, there's quite a lot of alcohol in here. I put brandy in, you can put rum in. I suppose you can even put whiskey in. I've never tried it with whiskey because I'm not fond of the flavour of it. But I suppose you can put whiskey, brandy or rum in there. And what happens is you soak the fruit, and then, you know, you make the cake. This cake is going to take about, I'm going to say, 4.5 hours in a nice sort of fairly low oven, 295 or something like that, just under 300 degrees anyway. And there we go. And now I'm going to scrape, because you all know when I'm cooking I like to get every bit out that I possibly can. It's so tempting, just be careful, it's so tempting to bang the cake on the side of the tin, but you bang it on the paper, and we don't want to do that, do we really? So I'm getting as much out as I possibly can out of here. Why waste this good stuff? And again, it smells wonderful. So there's brown sugar in here. Let me repeat this to you again. Brown sugar and 8 ounces of butter. I'm not quite, I can't remember how much brown sugar. 8 ounces of butter. You cream it all together. If you've got a nice machine like mine, it's an easy job. And there we go. Did you make your wish, by the way? And there, that's that. And let's put that over there, out of the way. And flour and eggs, allspice, a bit of salt, baking powder, and I'm going to now sort of do the job of smoothing the cake into the tin. Now, here's the deal. This fruit, or this mixture, if you didn't have this paper here, the mixture is level with the top of the tin. There's a lot of mixture in here, so this is why one reason why you put the paper in. Now, I'm going to see if I can show you how we do this. I'm not sure if I'll be able to, but I'm going to have a go. With fruit cakes and with heavy cakes, I find that it's always wise. There we go. When you've put all the fruit in, it's quite a good idea to make sure that you make a little dent or a little sort of hole in the middle of your cake, so that as it's rising, if you make a little dent in there. So I'm actually sort of making like a little hollow in the middle with the spatula, not too deep, but as it rises up, the mixture will fill that hollow and you get a nice flat cake. Then you really need a nice flat cake for when you come to decorate it. There we go. Oh gosh. And it's so easy. You saw how quickly and easy it was for me to do that. Of course, it helps that I had all the ingredients ready, right? We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. Oh, I'm going to lick that in a bit. Right. I'm going to see if I can, I'm not quite sure how well I can show you this, but I'll have a go. You can just see, I can't tip it because I don't want the mixture to sort of tip, but you make a little hollow in the middle, just you know, using your spatula. Now this is the weird thing, all right, because it's going to go in the oven, and it's going to go in the oven for quite a while, 4.5 hours, and it is fruit. Fruit burns easily. We don't want it to burn on the outside of the pan, do we? So look what I've got. See, I keep this every year. It's my little roll of brown paper, which I'm going to put, let me move the camera for you again so you can maybe see. I'm going to put it, I don't know how well you're seeing this, I'm going to put it, yes everybody, yes, on the outside of the cake. And this brown paper on the outside of the cake will actually stop the cake from burning. Now if you've got a gas oven, please be careful. A little bit of, I've got some sort of tape there. As I say, every year, because this paper doesn't get dirty, although I have over the years changed the paper and the tape from time to time, of course. But I don't know if you can see this, but I'm tying it like that, nice and tight around the pan. And this is what's going to stop the cake from burning. There we go. Now, doesn't that look pretty? Okay, so the brown paper on the outside will stop the cake from burning, and let's see. And there you have it. We're going to put it on a baking tray in a nice low oven. We're going to start it off at 325. I'm using an electric oven, obviously. Going to start, actually not obviously, is it? I'm going to start it off at 325 degrees. If you've got a gas oven, please make sure you keep the paper away from the flame. And then after half an hour, I'm going to reduce the heat to 290 degrees and leave it for a further 4 hours, so 4.5 hours. And then when I test it, I'm just going to simply use just a regular skewer, and I want it to be, when I put the skewer in, I want it to be nice and clean. Now, we will do, if this one works, I will promise you I will do another little restreaming thing. I have no idea how this is working, probably making such a fool of myself, but anyway, because I'm going to show you then how to feed Christmas cake. So this Christmas cake will come out. We leave it to cool completely. We take all the paper off, put it onto a cooling rack, turn it upside down, put it onto a cooling rack, and when it's completely cool, I'm going to skewer the bottom. I'm going to get some brandy. I'm going to spoon the brandy over. I promise you I will make another little video for you so you see what I'm doing here. And I'm going to be doing that once a week for at least 8 weeks, because I've given myself plenty of time. And then after that, all of the brandy and the fruit will start to ferment. It will start to just become absolutely delicious and rich and glorious. And of course, then the next time after the 8 weeks. I might even do it for 10 weeks. This is a cake that is so moist and so delicious. And we decorate it with marzipan. I make my own marzipan. Yes, I'll show you a video of it, I promise you. And so we coat it with marzipan and then royal icing, and then my grandson and I ship it, actually. Well, before I do anything of that sort, once I've finished with the cake, I'll make sure it's in the freezer for at least a week or two before I go to New York, and then I ship it, or I carry it, depending, to New York, and then Reese and I will decorate the cake. And I promise you, yes, we always make a video of that. And if you want to see a little bit more of that, just go to Rosemary Altea's Kitchen on YouTube and you'll see it. You'll see how we decorate that cake. And each year we have fun. Each year my grandson gets a little taller, a little older, a little bolder, and we have so much fun. So I hope you made a good wish. Don't waste the Christmas wishes. If you want to know about this recipe, I promise you, if you email me, rosemary@rosemaryaLtea.com, I'll send you the recipe. Or in fact, I suppose I could even put it up on Facebook, couldn't I, with some directions and instructions and so on and so forth for you all. I promise you it will be the best ever fruitcake you've ever eaten in your life. Hey, it's my recipe. It's based on an old Victorian recipe that I got out of a Mrs. Beeton's book. Oh gosh, we're going back a long way. And in those days, in Victorian times, they really did know how to cook a good cake and bake and so on. So this is the sort of like the old-fashioned way, except we're using modern machinery. So you do need a mixer, really, or a good strong hand and good muscles to sort of mix that butter and that sugar together. But I promise you, on Christmas Day, or what we do is we always have a nice big party the day after Christmas, which is Boxing Day. And we invite people over. It used to be at my house, but now it's with Samantha's. Would you like me to make a video of all those people who come to eat my Christmas cake? I'm very well known there. People say to me, in fact, when I was there this summertime with Samantha, people would come in I hadn't seen since Christmas, and they'd look at me and say, "Oh, those almond tarts you made were delicious." Not, "Hi Rosemary, how are you?" "Oh, those almond tarts we had at Christmas, they were so delicious." And the Christmas cake, and it's a really stunning centerpiece for every Christmas. So enjoy. I hope you had fun with me. I've had fun doing this. I wish I could read all of the things that you've said. I will actually, once I'm finished and I've switched off, which is any minute now, I will actually, I promise you, I will read them all. I shall see you tomorrow. Yes, it's Wednesday at the moment. My car is broken down in the driveway and all sorts of things are happening. But I had to get this Christmas cake going because otherwise it wouldn't be ready for Christmas. So I'll see you tomorrow morning on Everything is Attitude. It's 11 AM Eastern Standard Time. And until then, my darlings, thank you for joining me. And I hope you enjoyed being in my kitchen with me. So until tomorrow or Saturday when it's story time, or whenever you can find the time to be with me and enjoy my life with me, until then, please have a wonderful and a very blessed rest of the day. I hope I've inspired you now to get into the kitchen and make something good for yourself. Have a very blessed day, everybody. Bye bye.